We got some fights to talk about. I know, came here for the fashion. This top actually has a stain on it, so if you did come here for the fashion, you've made some real bad life choices at some point. Maybe pause this and reassess. But Rafael Fiziev is back. You've changed your tune. Let's talk about some fights.
Rafa in the sport, Rafael Nadal, come here. His name Vince One.
I love him. He's just always having a good time, you know? And he's not pushing for the title shot. He's not working his way through the division strategically. He just calls out whoever comes into his brain at any point in time. He's just a good time guy. He even promotes other fighters that he believes deserve shots before him, like Dariush. I suppose we should talk about him as a fighter. So he's got an extensive Muay Thai background, or he made the switch to MMA, and he's the better striker in this matchup. Gamrot, though, also extensive career, was champion KSW, made a real big name for himself over there, even had a nemesis, so that's cute. I've got a nemesis. It's not about me, I'm not Michael Bisping. Both Rafael Fiziev and Mateusz Gamrot lost their first fights in the UFC, but since then both of them have practically been different fighters, not from each other, from the fighters that we saw in their first fights in the UFC. Keep up, keep up. Rafael has beaten the bigger names, I'd say, even put on one hell of a fight against Justin Gaethje, whereas Mateusz, a couple of his wins could have been easily argued the other way. Now I'm saying. Now here's where it gets real interesting. Gamrot, incredible chain wrestler, but Fiziev, 90% takedown defense. Fiziev, incredible striker, so fast, so powerful. But Gamrot has never been knocked out. In fact, his durability is off the charts. He ate heavy kicks from Armin and big old bombs from Dariush and Turner, like they were not big bombs, but what are those little that kids have that you throw on the ground, or like a potato gun or something. Both of them have shown good cardio, but I do feel like the 5-round fight kind of favours Gamrot's style a little bit more. I can see him just wearing on Fiziev, apparently, Fiziev, over 5 rounds and getting the win that way. But what I actually think will happen is it will be a close fight, a matter of damage versus control, and damage by the rules is more important. Plus, with that takedown defense, I reckon it will stay on the feet more so than not. Does that make sense? It's not going to be as mind-blowingly awesome as the Gaethje fight, but this is an intriguing stylistic matchup, whereas that was just a guaranteed dogfight. Should we quickly talk about the co-main? Dan Ige and Bryce Mitchell have been teasing this matchup for years, with both of them like calling the other one out in like interviews and whatnot, and it never materializing until now. The last few months haven't gone that well for Bryce. He said he felt forced to take the Topuria fight even though he had the flu because he was kind of needing those dollar bills. And then he suffered the first loss of his career against a very impressive Topuria. Then he was booked to fight Pierce at 288, but his opponent dropped out, and then he got the matchup against Evloev, which was supposed to happen a while back. He got it again, then he had to drop out due to injury. And obviously it's not just in the world of fighting where getting back on the horse can be beneficial quickly after a loss, but there's also something to be said for taking your time to really kind of work on those weaknesses and make sure that your body is working properly, especially when you're facing a tough mother in Dan Ige. Dan Ige beat Nate Landwehr, so you know he ain't backing down easy or ever. Mitchell's mindset really took a hit after that loss. Of course it did, but he was talking about quitting MMA so he never had to feel that pain or regret ever again. He felt he could have done more, done better. Let's just hope he has done the work to remove all those doubts, because you cannot afford a single crack in the old self-esteem, self-confidence when you're coming up against 50k. But of course, before that loss, Mitchell was looking super impressive. He launched himself into our hearts with the second ever twister submission in UFC history. And the last time we saw him before Topuria, he dominated the legend Edson Barboza. But if he's back to being that Bryce and he can get the back, then even Ige's black belt in jiu-jitsu will not help him. But if those cracks aren't properly polyfilled up, I think Ige brings the pressure on the feet, pieces him up, gets the decision. What do you think? And which of the fights on this card are you most looking forward to?